Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future, our first one in 2023.
Yes.
That's right, new year, and there are more comics to order, as there always should be. For some reason, though, this week, there's going to be a little less than usual because Marvel decided to take the week off.
Yeah, we couldn't quite figure it out, couldn't find an answer for it, but they've got a few things like some omnibuses and some like epic collections, but no single issues.
Yeah, so very strangely, there is no Marvel to order this week, but that's okay. There is actually more DC than usual, and there's plenty of indie stuff too. So it'll just be a little easy on the wallet, especially if you're a Marvel fan this week, and we all could use that time to time. So anyhow, we should announce who we are. I'm Jason,
Maybe.
and we're with Infinity Flux Comics, where we've been doing this show for several years now. So thanks for joining us. So we're going to go over all the comics that are open order available to order this week. So let's begin with the featured ones, starting with.
Starting with Batman Legends of Gotham. This is something that kind of came out of nowhere. I did not know about this. It's a one shot written by Andy Diggle, who has not been around DC for a while. He had a great run on Green Arrow a few years back, but it's Andy Diggle and Carl Mostert is doing the art. And in this, it actually takes place during the Lazarus stuff, but it's not like an official tie-in. Batman's biggest secrets are up for auction. So someone has gotten, it doesn't know, is it his identity? Is it, his,
I was going to say that seems like a pretty big one.
yeah, is it, who's he associated with? Anything
His
like
blood
that?
type, where he has a silly birthmark.
Yeah, all of the things that would be great for villains to have. Uh, and Batman is not there to stop them. So it is up to uh, Katana, Black Lightning, and Jason Todd, which it looks like Jason Todd may at first be looks like he's responsible for the leak. You see them fighting on there, but it seems like they're going to end up working together to stop this auction from happening and to save all of Batman's secrets. But it does also say they're going to have to be dealing with the effects of Lazarus Planet as some superpowers start popping up out of nowhere and different people they're going to have to deal with. So, sounds really cool. Just a one shot. It seems like if you were a fan of Batman the Outsiders, this is like the next iteration of them. I wouldn't be surprised if this is kicks off something new coming later. If this has a to be continued or
In
something.
another outsider stable, because you're right, because Katana and Black Lightning, and
Mhm.
then Red Hood was leading the outsiders for a
Yeah.
little while. So
So seems likely, but sounds really cool. And we've got this A cover, and we have the
ooh,
variant by SZERDY.
that's really good.
It's a very nice katana cover.
Okay, so next up is maybe the biggest indie book of the week, The Exiled. This is by Wesley Snipes. Look, his name's right there at the top. He is writing this original series. This is also from this pretty new publisher, Whatnot. You see their logo on the bottom right there. This is going to be a six-issue series written by Snipes with art by ESKIVO. And so this sounds pretty gory. I think they said it's like Blade Runner mixed with Seven. Like anytime you get Seven in there, the
Yeah,
serial
it
killer
immediately
movie,
knocks it up a notch in the crazy over the top.
right away. I mean, I don't know what all that stuff is on the cover. It looks
It's meaty.
yeah meaty and bloody and such. So the main character is a detective, and he's going after a serial killer who is using some kind of like mysterious ancient devices to rip the spines out of his victims. Sounds like a predator to me.
Predator or what was it? Jim Valentino's character that would break
Oh,
people's spine.
Shadow.
It's like Shadowhawk.
Yeah, it just turns out to be Shadowhawk. Anyhow, so that is the premise. This detective is after this person, and the detective comes up with, pretty outlandish theories on why they're doing it, who they are, and of course, they don't get any backup. All the other officers are like, "You're an idiot." It's like this dude's ripping out spines. Anything is possible. So that is generally the premise, and I guess sort of the theme of the six-issue miniseries, The Exiled. So we got some interesting covers here. So this is our main cover. Here is the ESKIVO variant. So this is your interior artist doing a cover. Here is the ASEVEDO variant.
That's just that's so 90s.
Yes. Here is the Moss variant. falling out a window, but he's gonna shoot whoever did it. Here is the MAHFOOD variant. Just when you thought that the drugs you did once weren't coming back to get you, MAHFOOD does this cover. And then here is the Kent Blade Runner homage variant.
Yeah, it's funny. It didn't start with Berserker, but this idea of like actors now in comics seems to still be going strong.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you think Snipes isn't writing this to try to get it adapted,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you better think twice.
Okay, next up is our return of Static. This is Static Shadows of Dakota, #1. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries with a new team. Nicholas Draper-Ivey and Vita Ayala are writing this, and Draper-Ivey is the artist. And in this, there is it seems like it follows up from that previous, like that Static season 1, but a little bit in the future because a new threat has hit Dakota City. A new character called Eben is running rampant through the underworld of Dakota City, and it says it's a kind of a you know, uh, taking out all of the other bad underground mafia types and all of that to get to his brother. So sounds like a new character with this Eben character. And of course, it's up to Static and friends to stop him. So if you've been missing Static, or what I used to call him Static Shock, because the TV show is probably his most popular thing, uh, definitely check this one out. There's also some pretty cool variants for this. We have the this is the Chase Conley variant and an Oliver Coipel variant.
Very cool. And so this is a 6 issue
Six
miniseries.
issue, yeah. But they didn't call it season 2, and I think that's smart because if you see season 2, you're like, oh, I missed season 1.
Right.
So it sounds like this is new reader friendly. If you just know the basics of Static, you can jump into it.
All right, so we just went over 2 miniseries. Here's a new ongoing series, though, from Image Comics. It is Blood Tree. This is by writer Peter Tomasi with art by Maxim Simic. Funny enough, it sounds a little bit like the last one I was talking about, the Wesley Snipes, because this is also about not one detective, but two. It's two NYPD detectives, and they're going after a killer who calls himself the Angel Killer. And what his MO is he murders the innocent family members of known killers. Okay, so let's say there's a killer, they're behind bars. Well, this guy goes and finds their family members and kills them for some reason. Sure he has some twisted logic as
Yeah.
to why he's doing it. So this is not supposed to be a mini series, supposed to be an ongoing series. So that is the premise of Blood Tree. And here is the variant. This is the Frank and Anderson variant.
It's interesting too. This, if you see under the image thing, this is uh in Mad Ghost Publishing, which is Jeff
Yeah,
Johns'
Jeff Johns.
little corner of Image now. So
Yeah,
this is, I think, the first book that he hasn't written
that
was
isn't
under
that
his
isn't in
label.
the so this isn't in the Geiger verse, but
Right.
it's in the label with the Geiger
Yeah. It's
verse.
really interesting how that's starting to flesh out.
Interesting.
Okay, next up, we've got a couple of Lazarus Planet books. We're going to be having the Lazarus Planet kickoff one shot coming up this week in new releases, but we're already deep into the supporting books, starting with Lazarus Planet Legends Reborn #1, and each of these kind of is focusing on a different corner of the DC universe. This one is going to be exploring newly awakened and characters restored. So characters that may be familiar are coming back. This is by a bunch of different writers and artists, including like Greg Pak and Dennis Culver. But in this, we are going to find out about Nightwing is teaming up with City Boy, a character we just got introduced to recently, who can talk to cities. I think a big one people are going to be interested in is a story where a couple of characters claim to be the mysterious resurrected siblings of Raven. So that would be the more daughters or sons of Trigon coming up, expanding some of Raven's lore. and a story with The Question, Renee Montoya, and Firestorm. So it looks like they're taking some characters that haven't really been in the light for a little while, bringing them up, and kind of setting up what's going to be going on with them going into the future of the DC universe. So I've seen a couple of pages from this. I definitely think the City Boy one is one to keep an eye out for, and the Raven
The
one.
Raven story.
I mean, Raven is such a big character, and they're expanding her lore. And you can see on the cover, Trigon's on the cover, and Raven's on one of the variants. So I think that's going to be pretty big. This is our A cover. We have our Sarmento variant with Firestorm.
You're going nuclear.
Yeah. And this is really cool.
That's
This is the
great.
Laura Braga cover, and I think that is kind of a tweaked new outfit for Raven.
That's really great. Like just the attitude she's exuding on
I was
it.
looking at her legs are interesting where there's not definite shoes or anything. It's just like the color change from one to another. It's just a very, very cool design. And then here is the Minkyu Jung variant, and that's with City Boy, and it almost looks like he has a little mouse companion made out of city trash,
I'm seeing
which I think
that.
is really cool. And then our next one we are doing is Lazarus Planet Next Evolution. I think this is really, the other one sounds really cool and will have possibly some first appearances, but this one is basically the one touting like, hey, this is the book of new characters. So we're this is going to be by Ram V, Chuck Brown, Delilah S. Dawson, and more. And their tag for this one is Heroes Will Be Forged. So you may recognize some characters on the cover and some you don't because new powers are going to be awarded to characters because of the Lazarus goo. And you're going to have a story about Flatline.
Yeah, I see her.
So it looks like Flatline may be getting either a power boost or new powers,
That's
something that's gonna.
definitely not a power we've ever
No,
seen
she's
with her
like a
before.
supercharged
Yeah.
version of her there. And the story with her is she's going to be breaking into the palace or the fortress of the Al Ghul family. And I'll say, the previews we got of this one only had two of the stories in it, but the final page of this story will have people talking. Very interesting. And then we are getting a story with Red Canary going to save the city. So I'm very excited. We got a sample image this week from Joshua Williamson about the Green Arrow book he's going to be writing that heavily features Red Arrow or Red Canary.
Canary.
Red Canary in this. So I think she's another character to really be on the lookout for. Plus, there is a new character. It says, who is the heroic Deadeye? You can see him back there. I mean, I'm guessing that's Deadeye, but definitely looks like a villain to me. But they say heroic, and it doesn't say this is his first appearance. But I have not read anything, and I've read Lazarus Planet #1. He is not in that, so I feel like this is the first appearance.
Dead Eye kind of sounds like Dead Shot.
I wonder if it's maybe wasn't he like a zombie for a while, and I don't know, but it sounds really interesting. And then the one that they actually straight up call out is the brand new character, the Vigil. This will be their first appearance. So.
I think we see that character sort of in the bottom.
Yeah,
right.
so I mean, this is going to be definitely one to check out with all the new characters, new stories, and kind of this next generation of characters kicking off the DC universe. So some variants for this one as well, some really nice ones. We have our, of course, the Flatline cover. This one is by um,
That's
Derek Chu. Yep. Then we have
Oh, wow.
the Red Canary, which this is, there's so much to look at this one. Like, clearly her hair is hanging on something, but it's not, you can't see it. It's just really cool, artsy.
Her hair is turning into chocolate melting down the wall.
This is the Crystal Kung variant. And then here's the Tyler Kirkham with that new character, Deadeye. So it looks like he's got some power hands. I wonder if this is a version of Deadshot, but changed because of the Lazarus stuff.
Okay, so next up is Flash 1 Minute War Special. So this is going to be a one-shot tie-in with 1 Minute War. Now, as much as Andy and I talk about how much we love Flash, I don't know why anyone would get this if you're not really reading Flash. Now, jumping in on the 1 Minute War, that's a great time to start reading
Yeah, I think that's a
Flash.
good
It's
one.
just beginning. So this is a companion piece to it. It is by Jeremy Adams, who is the writer of Flash and the person who is behind the whole 1 Minute War arc that they're doing.
Mhm.
And in this, it's supposed to explore the alien speedsters who have shown up at Central City and are trying to take over. So it's not just one speedster. I mean, this is like a bunch of them, and that's how this war is going to happen. Before us regular folk would even know it's begun. So this is supposed to feature who these aliens are, what they're doing, and I think it's supposed to show a little bit on how the Flash family is going to try to
Mhm.
fight them. But I just wanted to let you know that this is definitely heavily attached to this event and not something you should just pick up on its own.
But like you said, this is a great story arc to jump onto.
Yes.
It feels pretty self-contained
Hmm.
and heavily features just the Flash family.
Yeah, Jeremy Adams has done just such a good job writing Flash. I think the powers that be at DC were finally like, okay, you can do a little event in
Yeah,
Flash because it's going to be awesome. And so,
there's only one cover for that too.
yes,
Pretty
true. No,
surprising.
no, no variant. But we also want to talk about Flash number 792. This is the third part of 1 Minute War.
Mhm.
So I know I said it's just about to kind of begin. This is because you're ordering a comic today that's coming out in
Yeah.
a month. So this is going to be the third part of that. And it has a variant. Here is the Tuna. I'm sorry, that was the A cover.
Yeah.
This is the Tuna variant.
And is that his wife's new costume?
That is,
That's
yep, that's
really cool.
that's Linda's costume. And then here is the Manahani variant for that as well. And this one is in honor of Black History Month.
Yes.
So, all right. So next we're going to get to other number ones. They might not be featured, but maybe you'll like these even more.
So the first one is from AWA and is Black Tape. This is by Dan Panosian, which I think is really cool, bringing him on to AWA. And I've liked a lot of the stuff he's done recently, the Ravens book and all of that. Um, this one is about a character called Jack King, who was like a rock and roll god. I mean, look at him, like he looks like, and apparently he had just this crazy stage presence that was feels a little reminiscent of like maybe Alice Cooper and some more like showman stage presence. But something happens and he dies, and it's up to his girlfriend to try and protect his legacy. But she's unaware that um, all of his things are being surrounded by maybe some kind of cult or demonic powers because they all want his final recordings, which is an unreleased album that may be able to open up a portal to hell. So it sounds really cool, that kind of mix of music and magic and all of that for this new book. So this is the A cover for that. And then we have the Diodato Jr. cover. And this is very interesting if you look at this one. So the top left one, if you really look at that character up there, that's just straight up Brendan Fraser. And then down at the bottom, the singing, I believe that is Robert Plant
It's very
from
Robert
a
Plant
like
looking.
I've seen that video, but it looks like he's casting like who would play all of these
That's
characters.
interesting. The others are probably just not as easy to
Yeah,
recognize
easy
off
to
the
recognize,
bat.
but the Brendan Fraser one, you look at that and you know for sure that's who that is.
The upper right, I could kind of see Alec Baldwin
Uh-huh.
in that a little bit. We'll have to talk more about it when it gets here,
Yeah.
when it's like in our hands and we can really look at it closely. Okay, so next up is a new one from Image called Almighty. This is going to be a 5 issue miniseries from writer Edward LaRoche with art by Brad Simpson. So this is set in 2098 in the United States, but there has been a terrible economic disaster, so bad that the United States is now considered third world country. I mean, that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
2098, like, um, anyhow, so that is the setting. But what the plot is, as far as I could research, there is a girl who's been abducted in this like messed up of a land. The people who want her back have hired to kill her. So it doesn't really say if the killer is good or bad. This person has just killed
Yeah.
and is now hired to try to get this girl back at any cost. So I think this is one of these books where you're just gonna have to check out the first issue to see
Yeah.
if it's good or not. I like settings like that, but it just all depends on the meat.
Yeah.
So, when it arrives, we'll be doing a review on it, and maybe you can learn more about it then. So, and just the one cover. Yeah.
And next up is Where Monsters Lie from Dark Horse. This is written by Kyle Starks, and the art is by Peter Kowalski, who was doing like the Bloodborne comic and all of that. This is it says like where do like slashers and serial killers and all of those kind of characters go in between their their big attacks and sprees. They go to Wilmhurst, a gated community in the middle of nowhere, which sounds funny. They got to have a little rest time, so they all gather up here. But a survivor of one of those like psycho slashers uh, is now turned into an agent working for, I don't know, I think the FBI, and has learned where monsters lie. He's learned about this location, and he is going to go stop them. Sounds like a very dangerous place to be stepping into. Even if you are prepared, you're surrounded by some very deadly people. So, sounds really interesting. We've got a couple of covers. So, this is the A cover.
I like that one has a ventriloquist dummy.
It's a very Batman. And then we have a variant, and this is the Stoko variant.
Okay, so next up is our segment, Cool Covers and Other Comics. This is going to be noteworthy variants and also issue number twos and threes, a series that we think you might need to be reminded about to tell your store, hey, I read number one, sign me up for those. Beginning with a series that I don't think I really have to push very hard. Batman. This is Batman issue 132. This is continuing that new story arc where Batman is in a different Gotham. It's a Gotham from the multiverse. And in this Gotham, there's a lot of villains just sort of roaming free. You got like Harvey Dent just roaming around as a villain. You got Killer Croc. And it seems like what he surmised in last issue was the one thing that's weird about this Gotham, it doesn't seem like it has a Batman. Where is he? Where is Bruce Wayne? Where is the city protector? And this was all set in motion by Failsafe, who knows Bruce better than almost anybody. So, what is he going to find out about himself in this land where it doesn't seem like there is him?
Yeah. It looks like he might be meeting the Selena Kyle of
Yes,
this,
it definitely
this world.
appears that way. That's a really good cover. Like
It's
you're
really
connecting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a regular cover. Here is the Casada cardstock cover, which is pretty
It's like it
awesome.
was a new James Bond. It looks like the opening of James Bond.
Here is the Art Germ variant, and here is the Hawthorne variant. So I've enjoyed this run of Batman pretty well so far, and I thought the start of this arc was really good. I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to where, and when you're in a multiverse story, you can do almost anything. So
It's
it
very
really
true.
takes the boundaries off the writer.
Next up is Batman Joker Deadly Duo number 4 of 7. This is the Mark Silvestri series. And in this one, it says Batman and Joker are teaming up on a speeding train. So, sounds pretty cool. A lot of people have been picking up this book. We've got these covers by David Mack. So, this is the Batman cover. And then we have a Catwoman cover.
So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so next up, this is the Capullo variant for Batman Beyond the White Knight number 8. This is it, last
Yep.
issue, the finale. So again, this is the Capullo cover for that. And then we have the top secret Murphy cover.
Wonder
Sean
what that's
Murphy
going to be.
himself, the creator himself. He doesn't want you to know. At least they made a nice little top
I
secret
know, I like that.
thing that we could show off.
I don't know if it's going to be a new suit or a new, you know, maybe a hint to what's coming next.
That's what I figure. But I will say, so us stores, we don't over order these because we can't see them.
Yeah,
So this is a good one. If you want, let your store know to guarantee that you get it.
especially since it's not a number one, it's the
Mm,
final issue.
final issue.
It's gets a little trickier. Okay, and next up is Deceased War of the Undead Gods number 6 of 8. This is the Kale New acetate cover. And in this one, the Galactic War has reached Earth 2. So if you're enjoying that and you're getting all the acetate covers, it's a really nice one with Wallace West.
Here is the main cover to Swamp Thing Green Hell #2.
You remember that
So,
book?
yeah, this series was very, very delayed. And Jeff Lemire was talking on a podcast, and he
Mhm.
said that the artist, Doug Menke, he had some family issues
Yeah.
happen, and that's what caused the delay. But they are back on track. They did that second print for the first one a
Yeah.
little while back just to catch people up. So they really believe in this story where they're like, let's do a second print just to
Yeah.
remind everybody that we're going to continue doing this. This is only a 3 issue series. So this is the A cover, and then here is the Christian Ward variant. Pretty cool.
And then we have Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, #5. Uh, Not a whole lot to say about what it says in this. It just says Joker is getting closer to the man that he believes is pretending to be him. I have a feeling maybe he's going to find out one of those, like, maybe that was a real one and this Joker's the fake one.
Hmm.
Seems like they're kind of playing with that. But also, Jason Todd is getting closer to finding Joker. This is the Libra cover, which is very interesting back there. The multiple Joker masks, like, is
I see
somebody
that.
pretending to be
Can't
him.
quite see what's on the table. The red thing.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
tell.
not
Is it a
sure.
whoopee cushion?
I don't think so. It looks like it has a cord to it, like electric power.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to see when that gets here.
But another great Bermejo cover for that.
Really good.
And then we also have the Clay Man cover.
Yep, typical Joker creepiness.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, here is the spokes variant for Gotham City Year One, issue #5. So, of course, this series is all about Slam Bradley back in ye old days of Gotham. So, again, this is the spokes variant for issue #5.
And then we have Poison Ivy #9. This is, I feel like, the issue people have been waiting for, the reunion of Harley and Ivy.
Wow.
Especially in Poison Ivy series, because she's been kind of on a road trip. This requires
She
Harley to
has.
go and find
I
her.
honestly didn't expect to see Harley in it at
Yeah,
all. There's been no like Ivy's not been like, yeah, time to go find
yeah.
Harley.
So this is, I feel like, one of the most important issues of this series. I actually skimmed through the copy we got of this just to see, and this is feels like a very important for their relationship book. And of course, there is some really good covers. Not many solicitations also talk about, like, hey, we've got really nice covers, but if you read this one, it's like tells you about the story, and they're like, and also check out these variant covers, because this is probably in the top where every one of the covers is
I've read this
fantastic.
series from the beginning. I have to say the covers, the series has been good the whole time, but I thought the covers were sort of even better than the series.
Yeah,
But the writing has kind of caught up.
you're
Like
right.
I think you got dueling writer and cover artists here, and it's just making a good series.
So this is our Jessica Fong A cover. Then we have a Terry Dodson.
That's
Very,
great. Very, very playful.
yep.
Bathing in a big old tulip.
Then we have the Sweeney Boo cover, and then we have a Dan Mora cover.
Mm. Okay, so here is the main cover. This is the main A cover, the Bianchi cover for King Spawn, issue #19. This is beginning a new story arc. And here is the Fernandez variant for that same issue.
Very, very weird.
Yep.
Okay, then we have a couple of Ninja Turtles. This is TMNT the Armageddon game #5. This is the Kevin Eastman variant, and we are kicking off the second half of Armageddon game with this issue. Then we also have the TMNT ongoing issue 137 Eastman variant, which is, of course, a tie-in to Armageddon game.
Clearly Eastman variant.
They look right. Every time he does it, it's like, yeah, that's what these are supposed to look like.
Okay, here's the main cover to Children of the Black Sun #2. This series just started this week from Ablaze Comics. We would have reviewed it, but our order got here late.
Yep.
So even though we got out on the shelf in time, it didn't make a review show. This is from the artist. This is from the same artist who does House of Slaughter. So this is the main cover. Here is the brown variant. And here is the Rudy variant.
You may think you're picking up a issue of House of Slaughter if you saw that one.
Someone is gonna accidentally be like, "Why didn't my comic store pull House of Slaughter?" Buy it, get home, and be like, "What is going on in
Yeah.
this arc?"
And next up, I just thought this was interesting. We don't usually show Savage Dragon, but it's very rare that Savage Dragon has a variant by a different artist.
Mm.
So this is the Sean Alexander variant. It's just always cool to see that character drawn in different styles.
It looks like he's decided to destroy everything that's yellow. He's like, I am green. If you're yellow, you're getting
Yeah,
destroyed. He's fighting the mustard monster. Okay, so this is the Manipul variant for Walking Dead Deluxe issue number 56. This, of course, is reprinting all the Walking Dead, but this time in color. This issue also has cutting room floor extras and commentary from the creators. So,
and these are the Maniple connecting covers. So if you got the last one, this is the next one.
all right, so now our final part of the show, other printings and graphic novels.
So with a pretty significant facsimile edition of Gargoyles back from 1995. So if you never read that original one, which was Marvel, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, it
it
was a
was Marvel.
Gargoyles was Marvel back then with this great Monteria A cover. You'll definitely want to check this one out because this is a pretty pricey book now. So I love they're doing a facsimile. I think they're actually doing a facsimile of the second issue coming up too. So it's
Huh.
kind of like they're reprinting the original series as well. So definitely sign up for that one.
Okay, so Batman Spawn is going back to second print.
Oh,
So
because he just had such a low print run for the first
if
one.
somehow you missed out on that first print, here's your chance to get a different print of it. Or if you just want, the second print as well for collectability reasons. Um, so this is a regular cover. Then there is a B cover for that second print. And then they're also releasing Batman Spawn the Deluxe Edition hardcover for $29.99. So this is going to be the new story, the one that just released, the one that I just showed the second print from, and it's also going to include um, both of their meetings in 1994. The first one was Batman Spawn, the second one was Spawn Batman. So it's all collected together for the first time, hardcover for $29.99.
And then these are great. Once again, going back to multiple printings, 8 billion genies. Uh, we've got, we're reprinting all the way from 1 through 6. So, first off, we have number 1, fifth printing. We have number 2, fifth printing. More great covers, too. We've got number 3, fifth printing. We have number 4, fourth printing. And then number 5, second printing. And number 6, second printing. And this is going to be 8 issues long, so this will get you pretty close to caught up
Okay,
with the
so
series.
what other series can you think of that have had lots of printings like this? Because I would say Something's Killing the Children
Yeah,
early on went to, I think issue number one went to 9 printings
yeah.
eventually.
There was one we were guessing how many printings a book would get to.
I know when Cates was doing Venom,
Venom was a
that
big
was
one.
getting way up there as well. But I mean, that doesn't happen all the time.
No, especially fifth printings.
Yeah.
Third is roughly, if the series is popular, third is about as far as they go. Fifth, that tells you, hey, this is, and that if this does become the Amazon thing that it's been optioned for,
Mhm.
these are going to be hot printings. The
Yeah,
later the printings tend to be kind of harder to
a lot
get.
of stores won't order them because
Yeah,
they're
they've already got them on their
yeah, or
shelves.
they'll order very few of them.
And then next up is Girl Taking Over. This is a new graphic novel for kind of the DC young adult. Sounds really fun. It's about Lois Lane uh, as she is kind of sounds like teenager, young adult going to a new city that's not Metropolis and having to deal with a potentially explosive scandal that she uncovers, her internship, and roommates that go from friends to enemies. So if you enjoy these, or if you have nieces or nephews or kids who like these young adult graphic novels, I think this is going to be a really good one.
Do you think Clark Kent will be in it like a little bit, like they bump into each
It
other
would
in a
just be
grocery
like,
store or something?
yeah, it's serendipitous if they ran into each other. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Mm.
Maybe a Bruce Wayne, a young Bruce Wayne, she has to report on or something.
That's interesting. Pair her up with somebody
Yeah,
else who isn't as super important to her later on. Okay, so they're also
this is
doing
great.
another release of Batman, the 1989 movie adaptation. So you've probably seen this here and there. But I don't think they've reprinted it in a long
Yeah.
time. So this was done by Denny O'Neil with art by Jerry Ordway, and of course this is the comic adaptation of the Tim Burton film.
Yeah.
So they're bringing this back out. It is $14.99.
Good price. And this is really good. If you've never read this, this is uh, Power Girl Power Trip. And this is collecting JLA Classified 1 through 4 and Power Girl 1 through 12. This is by Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Amanda Connor, and Jeff Johns. And if you are looking for a really fun series, if you're not familiar with Power Girl, this is the perfect one to read. It's kind of your superhero comedy, great art. This is really where people really started noticing Amanda Connor and where she started rising up in the ranks of great artists. It's $39.99. Highly recommend it. Just a great overall series.
I like this cover because Power Girl is just like, I'm so iconic. I could be in front of my own logo, and you see me, you know what this
Yeah,
is.
and the little cat down there, just
Yeah,
poking its head over. That's kind of the humor.
that's funny. It's like the Grumpy Cat spirit. Okay, and lastly, this is Sandman Universe Nightmare Country, Volume 1. This is the hardcover of it. It is going to be $29.99. This, of course, is written by James Tynion with art by Lisandro Esteren. This is the first six-issue arc collected. So again, just $29.99 for Sandman Universe Nightmare Country, Volume 1 hardcover. And that's it. That's our show. Where were you, Marvel?
Yeah, that's what a show looks like without Marvel.
Catch you next week, I hope. So thanks for watching. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. We'll be back on Monday where we will be reviewing all the comics that are just coming out and new to buy that week. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.